Good evening, everyone. Good evening, CDN fans. Good evening, this week in interview audience. A very special good Wednesday night to you. This is your host and guide, Anthony Drago, and we are here for another episode of This Week in Interview. Uh, this week in interview has been going on for a few years now, and we always try to stay a little bit ahead of the curve. We try to make sure that you enjoy and get good value from the time you invest in being on this weekend interview. And as we continue to do that, I had announced to you that we were going to be doing a program on with agriculture, well, food production, and sustainable agriculture. We want to make agriculture great again, make agriculture great again. And so Mr. Adrian Banis is farmer from Castle Bruce who is passionate about farming, has agreed to be the my guest. Well, yes, he's my guest, but we're having conversations because he's the expert. I don't know those of you who remember when we used to do the medical programs where we had nurse Rosalind Carbon used to come on and she would help me to bring you some really great medical uh, information. So similarly, we are doing that. This is going to be the second installment of that series of our agricultural program, sustainable agriculture and food production. I think I am going to adopt the tagline to the series to make agriculture great again in Dominica. So Magad, all right, we want to make agriculture great again, and so those of you in Dominica, you might be listening to us on RVR Jams radio. Welcome. That's on DigiPlay channel 59. And we have also Radio SBE, an online radio station in the Toronto market that carries this week's interview live. And so thank you to those two collaborators that bring our audience this week in interview live. And everybody else, those who come back every Wednesday night, you've been doing this for years now. I really appreciate and I'm honored, I'm humbled that you make this, you continue to make this week an interview a part of your week. All right. So without much further ado, I want to bring my guest on, Mr. Adrian Banis. He's been on now in this program a few weeks ago. We said we were going to do it every third Wednesday. I don't know what calendar I was following because this is actually the fourth Wednesday in November, but we got it in November anyway. But the intention is to do it every third Wednesday. So, Adrian, welcome back to our agricultural series to see if we can make agriculture great again in Dominica. How have you been?
Yes, good night, everybody. Good night, Tony and Mr. Sam. It's really a pleasure to be in studio with you all, being live in Dominica. Um, it's really last week on Wednesday I was prepared, but I recognize you made the
Yeah,
change you
you're a
told me
space
this
dog,
Wednesday.
a space cadet.
But it not things happen sometimes, because right now it seems like the worldly speed is moving so quick. Time is really, really flying now. But thank God we are here tonight and we are able to share. I just trust tonight that what we share tonight, that the persons who are listening to us, they will be able to some, get some knowledge, and will be able to begin to think how important agriculture is to the world, not just to us, but to the world. And the more that I farm, is the more I recognize how much people need food to eat every day. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 persons will call you and ask you for something, either fruits or food or whatever. So it is very, very important that we continue to educate the masses, educate the people, and not just growing food, but growing healthy food. This is what we have to really focus on, growing healthy food.
Growing healthy food. That is so important because I actually know I live in Brooklyn And a lot of times you hear they have a term that they call it a food desert, meaning that yeah, you can get food is readily available, right? However, some of the food is nutrient deficient because of how it is grown, because of how far away it comes, because of how long is the time between when it was harvested and when it gets to the supermarket shelf before we pick it up. And so, as you said, food production is so important. As a farmer, you are participating in creation, in because I mean, you plant one seed, and it gives you 1,000 seeds along with fruits. That in itself is a form of creation, and so farmers are right there in the whole creation process. So Adrian, when we discussed earlier, we said we were going to focus on uh, how do we link agriculture with tourism. So we'll call it agrotourism, right? I know you've been doing some of that. I know you've thought about it a lot. I know you've done some consulting in Dominica and even outside of Dominica as well. What is your concept of agro processing? How do you see when you think about linking agriculture and tourism, how do you think about it?
Yeah. As we continue to bring a new concept into agriculture in this time, especially the way that we used to farm was it used to be we used to farm on a more conventional level, using a lots of chemicals and lots of like pesticide and different fertilizers, and also using cutting all of our trees and keeping the soil bare. Right now, I think we are looking at seeing how we can restore our soil back and to make sure that we work within the environment, and also we keep the environment safe. And to do that we are looking forward to see how we can plant and grow food in a more natural way. And as I said, we are linking it to tourism. If you let's say you living in Europe or America or France or any part of the world, and you are a person you want to come down to the Caribbean to enjoy what we have in the Caribbean, it is really to be really it's really I call it a crime in that sense. When you come leave America or leave Europe and come to the Caribbean and you are still eating rice and sardines and you're eating all this junk food again. So I think the best thing that we can do in the region, in the Caribbean, let us come back and stick to our cuisine, the nice food that we are having. Remember growing up, we used to have so much good food. I remember you would have a nice cassava um, food with cassava, you cook a nice broth with dashing and tanya, and you would have fish from the river, fish from the sea, and you would use your coconut, use your pawpaw, you would use all your different bush that you know that your parents would go for them and cook a real nice food. Today, what you find is persons would just go to the shop and buy a rice, buy season. I'm just putting it in the way it is being done.
Hmm.
Season, buy a macaroni and stuff like that, and come back
Chicken cube and
and
chicken
cook
soup.
and cook. You know, something that amazes me is that every Sunday, persons would cook and they say they cook in their Sunday meal. And when you look at the Sunday meal, they cook in lasagna and they cook
Macaroni and cheese.
thick macaroni,
Uh-huh.
and everything would be artificial. And I say, but wait, is that really a meal? Because I just cannot eat that. And I seen we leave in our dashing there. We could take our dashing and use it and make a nice dish with it. We don't have to put mayonnaise. We don't have to put all that in it. We can take also our banana, do everything. So what I'm saying all this to say, when you leave this country and you come to the Caribbean or you come to Dominica, you should enjoy only the Dominican dish. We should have our dish in Dominica that we can present to you. And how are we going to do that is by planting, and then planting in mind that we'll have visitors come in and enjoy what we have, so we can share what we have. Like today, I was cleaning some bread nut, and I sat down in front of the bread nut there, and I'm saying, you know, bread nut is really getting lost right now. Just a just a few trees, and I have 3 trees on my farm. And I say to myself, I talking to myself, I say, I'm going to plant some more bread nut trees, because this thing I remember growing up, we used to have that like a dessert. That used to be a dessert after
To
you
be a
eat.
treat, yeah.
Yeah, it would be a dessert.
Yeah.
So we can, and these things, they are very good for us. They will help us to live longer, because when you eat that, that can really digest better than you're going to eat a fruit cake, or you call it the cake. They have cheesecake.
Yeah. Or cheese skills or cheese straws.
Right,
Yeah, right, right,
right.
right. Yeah.
So, so this is something that we have to look at. How are we preparing for the persons who are coming, and what we are going to present to them when they come, so that they can enjoy what we have, and when they leave, they can leave with an experience.
Right. And so if agro-processing, agrotourism,
Yeah.
we are inviting visitors to come to Dominica, or visitors who come to Dominica. We want to be in a position to have them experience our agriculture, whether in planting, whether in harvesting, in processing, and of course in eating and experiencing our cuisine. We want to be able to say, okay, if a tourist goes to, say, Saint Martin, right? What they have hotels, they have beaches, they in the nightlife, they go to a casino, they gamble, they all of those things that they can do without coming to St. Martin. They could go to Atlantic City, New Jersey, they could go to Las Vegas, they could go Florida, and have all those same experiences. Agrotourism responds to that those visitors who say, okay, I have taken time off from my life, I've spent some money, I am going to a destination. When I come out of that destination, I would like to have some memories that are specific to that destination. And so, if we were to break down agro tourism then into getting people to come on the farm and experience the actual cultivation and production of food. I, I know you and as in Banis Farms have had people visit your farms and you've given them tours. I have seen some videos online and that sort of thing. How are you organizing your farm so that when someone comes on the farm, they leave with a memorable experience?
Okay, as I said, we create the environment. Number one, we plant crops. Remember, we move into climate smart farming, where we are planting crops on the farm that will be able to withstand, that will be resilient to the climate,
Hmm.
that be able to stand the sun, be able to withstand the heavy rains. For instance, this month I planted lettuce, but we had so much rain, and the lettuce grew so thin, about 3 leaves, and they started growing tall because of the rain. They're in the open.
Hmm.
So so since I saw it, I said, well, is the rain not doing that? Because too much rain, the lettuce cannot really breathe, cannot really have them to breathe, have them to grow. But then today, a few other persons here said that they plant lettuce also, and that lettuce they plant is the same thing because of the rain. So right now I have to figure out how am I going to organize to plant lettuce. So when it's raining, have heavy rain, my lettuce is not going to get fit. Okay, so I'm looking to develop a technology right away.
So
So we
you
did
think
the
the rain
agroforestry.
you think the
Huh?
rain is the rain might be leaching the nutrients away from the lettuce?
Yeah, heavy rain, and the lettuce is in the open.
Hmm.
So it causes it to grow with free leaves and tall. You know,
Oh.
like when you plant something on that tree
Hmm.
and it growing, field it got room for to get air and sunlight.
Okay.
So it started growing thin. Okay.
Hmm. Right.
Okay. So getting back to so the system we put in place also is to go into the agroforestry. And the agroforestry is a very good concept. This week I've been doing some pruning, right?
Hmm.
And that's where I'm beginning to value agroforestry because, and not just planting forests, but you plant crops. And because as you cutting, as you pruning, you have crops to eat. And plus you have a tree of partly everything. I planted some late pears, and this pears, man, I had a piece of that pear today, man. This pear was excellent. And and more, it gives me, it brings more joy to my heart and more love to my heart, and to see the work of my hands, what I am, and not just having them there, but the experience, walking in the field and seeing what is in the field, and also experiencing the picking the fruit, go under the bread nut tree, pick up a peel of bread nut and more, pick a couple peels of oranges, go over there, you have your cocoa, you pick your cocoa, you cut your cocoa, you ferment your cocoa, and just have you doing work that you are preparing food that you can have on your table, and also you can share with other people. Okay, because my goal is, right, my plan now is to cook my bread nut, go put it in a bag and go on the street and sell some bread nut.
You
Boiled
have
bread
not
nut.
your bread nuts are in season right now.
Right, but okay. So yeah, so this is the kind of thing, that this kind of environment we are putting in place, because you must build the foundation first. Now the foundation is set. You want persons now to come and enjoy that what you have done in an environment where they can now sit down, they can they can also pick, they can walk in the field, you can educate them and let them know what you have on the field, and they can see it for themselves. Sometimes some people have never seen an orange tree. Some people have never seen or heard of a bread nut tree. They have never
Right.
seen a breadfruit tree. They heard about it, breadfruit. They have never seen the way a jelly tree grow. So that alone is an experience
Experience.
by
Yeah.
just coming and see that. So that is what you be calling agrotourism. And with all that, they will be able to enjoy it, not just see the fruit, but touch it, feel it, enjoy it, and then they can sit down and eat from what is being grown on the farm, the vegetable, the dashin, the plantain, the yam, the and some of the things that they are buying in the bag, like plantain chips and banana chips and cassava chips. They can see it being grown now on the farm, and they can go back home with an experience, and they can have something that is fresh, because right there you can fry some in a frying pan for them with the coconut oil. You have the coconuts, you can, and there's so much that you can teach, and so much they can learn from that kind of experience. So this is where I believe we need to take our farming the next level, That is the next level we have to take our farming. Having planned so that we can have people come in and have an experience in mind. That must be our vision. And that also will bring sustainable income. It will You'll be able to have become self-sufficient, you have food security, and you still have sustainable income.
So right now, apple picking is popular in the northern part of the US where I live. So folks go, they pay a fee, and they're given a bag, and they go out into the apple orchards and they pick apple, whatever among that they pick, and they fill in their bags. They can take it home. That is that's a simple version of agro tourism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
When when in Halloween time in October, some of the larger fields, like the cornfields and so, they cut mazes in their field, different tracks, and they put like a scary experience. Sometimes they have a scary house, and they people go there and pay money to go through those cornfields, to go into the house of horrors, and so they generate thousands of dollars for their farm that way, inviting folks to their farm to have a specific experience. And so that's what we're saying, that as we look for ways, because you really you will help me um, point that out, that a lot of folks are lamenting that young people are not interested in becoming farmers. And so as the farmers get older, they don't see that crop of young farmers coming up to replace them. And that is why we think, because people don't see farming as sexy, to just use that word. They associate farming with, you always have dirty shoes, dirty clothes, you're working hard, it's hard labor, that sort of thing. And that's what they see, especially in a time like now, where we don't have a big cash crop like in bananas. So that when in its heyday, even if bananas was a lot of hard work, you see examples of banana farmers have brand new pickup trucks. You see they build their homes. When they lime, they're well dressed. So that in itself was an attraction. But in the absence of that, where you don't have a main central crop, you diversify, and so you have to be able to make the profession attractive to young people, make agriculture great again. And and so the ideas that you are putting forward moves our agriculture in that direction, because if you do in your farm in such a way where you expect to invite people to come and see your farm, and to see how you do your different processes, your planting, your harvesting, how you take care of pesticides. You build a story around that, and you do the educating. Then you can invite visitors to come. They pay a small fee. They do the farm. Sometimes they can have a meal from what they harvested. Somebody cooks it for them, and so. How long have you been going down that road of agro tourism, and how successful have you been? Have you seen it? And in terms of future prospects for it?
Well, since before Maria, I had the concept, I had the thought, the vision
Mm.
of going into
Maria was
agroforestry.
2017, right?
Huh?
Maria, I said, was
2017,
2017.
2017.
Yeah.
I had started the process by planting. I had a lot of things planted already. I had a lot of cocoa. I had a lot of oranges. I had lemons. But the coconuts, they were not like how it is now. They were not planted in rows or in specific areas. They were
Mm-hmm.
just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started going to passion fruit, which was a very good cash crop. But Maria came and really devastated everything. And when Maria came and Maria really destroyed at least 90% of what I had, that is where now I said, okay, I started fresh, I started new. And I just continue the same concept. And now what I do did I put in the I put in the work. I planned exactly the things that I needed to plant. I had enough space to plant them the way that I wanted. I put in the infrastructure where I could have my shed, my toilet, my everything. And then so that in itself was was birthed in my heart to make sure that I have a place where persons can come and experience what we are doing in Dominica and experience it in a real way, not hearing
Mhm.
about it, but you can come and experience it. And I started developing it. Then I move out. I started phasing out pesticides and Romoxone and these things and go into brush cutting. And then I move into so as I am developing the farm, new ideas coming. So I move into chicken because I want to do my composting.
Mhm.
So I made sure that I set up my chicken place. Then I build my compost house. Now I put in my rabbits. I have my goats. And so all these animals, I can use their dung
Mhm.
to do my compost. To do my compost. Also, you can have fresh meat, and you don't have to go and buy chicken in the store. Although you find traditionally, even though we have the fresh thing on the farm, sometimes people still go and buy what is in the
Right.
store
Mhm.
and leave what is in the store because it is just a tradition. It's just
Right.
telling
Right.
yourself,
Right.
I have
Right.
to go and buy the chicken.
We're subject of good public relations, good PR on behalf of
Yeah,
those companies. Yeah.
right. So and the other thing is that we have a river right next door where you
Right.
can go and you can fish, you can also bathe, you can also sit down and relax. If you want to write a song, you can go there and sit down and write a song. All these things have to develop into one big ecosystem that will be able to enjoy not just eating alone, but you can relax and meditate. You can have a place where you can drink you can bathe in fresh water, clean river. You can enjoy a bath there, and then you can come and enjoy the coffee, get a cup of cocoa. Just ensuring that everything that is wrong, you can participate
Mhm.
in it. You can take a hike if you want. You can hike. So, so this is really what our young people must look at and see how much we can develop that. Especially right now, you have technologies. Look at that. You are in New York. I'm in Dominica, and we have a program.
We have a
Why
program.
can't we
Right.
have something in the future where the whole world can see what we're doing in Dominica on a farm, with that they can also learn. Now they can also come. A university can come and do research. If you want to
Mhm.
research something in the tropics, and you want to do a research on agriculture, that is an opportunity that you have. I remember before Maria again, a couple of years back, there was a guy from France. I think it's Greve University, one university in France. He was doing his PhD in agriculture, and he came and he spent a whole month with us.
Oh
On
wow.
our every day, he'd go on the farm, and he would go there and he would work on the farm and do his research and he did very well, and he went back and he did his papers for
Mhm.
his PhD. I think he just did his masters. He did his papers and he came out good. So all
Oh,
that.
he spent a whole month with you.
Yeah, he spent a whole month on the farm.
Right.
with me working, doing research, asking questions, and then he
Right.
did his paper and he went
Mm-hmm.
back and he was so happy.
Right.
The man was excited. And all that time, I didn't really know that time I used to, we had fair trade. And I told him, how you got my name? He told me he was doing our research on the internet and he saw my name with fair trade. And he said, yeah, he want to come on that farm. And that time when I had started doing, I am a person, I like to be diverse in what I plant. So I used to do cucumbers, planting, different things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is the kind of thing that the young people must begin to envisage. Find a piece of land and see how much you don't have to have 5, 6, 7 acres. You can have 1 acre and you can put that acre into good use. The thing is that you just have to ensure that you get some guidance and you can develop that acre, and that acre can become a place where you are not just going to make money for a couple months or a couple weeks. Like you do bananas, you plant the bananas, after 9 months you harvest, and by the 12th month or by the 13th month, 12th month,
Mm-hmm.
you haven't got money again. You have to have something to keep you
Right.
going,
Right.
because you have to wait another 6 months again
Right.
to sell
Mm-hmm.
bananas again. But
Mm-hmm.
with that type of farming, which is and you add the farming tools every day, you can make money once you do what you have to do and you do your promotion. Hence, that's why I have been thinking of not just becoming a place where people can come and think, but also I have to market it.
Right.
And it's a good thing where I met with you and we sat down and we have the same mind. And right now, I'm just trusting God that our vision, our dream work, because I can see we can really make um, agriculture and make Dominica great again.
Make Dominica great again. Because really and truly, Dominica fortune is tied to its ability to produce food as well as to make use of water, some of the natural resources that we have. And one of people think of water and people think of food because Dominica has a long history of exporting raw food, like the hucksters pass and buy provision and export raw food. But people like you are saying, you know what, instead of just selling you a bunch of plantains, let me take that bunch of plantain and process it. And now I'm going to sell you plantain chips, which increases your profit margin, I imagine, because now you've added value to the plantain and you've also given it in a format where it's convenient for people to enjoy plantains. Because now you can buy a pack of plantain chips and munch it as a snack. You can take it if you're on the road, if you're traveling, and so on. So that is what where agriculture has moved, and we're saying that as agriculture moves in that direction, we have to think of it as a product that visitors would be interested in coming and in looking and see. So Adrian, I'm going to take a quick break right now. We're at the middle of the hour, pretty much, and when we come back, we are going to actually maybe talk some numbers, because uh, somebody who has a farm and they're growing their crop and so on, they're hearing us talk and say, well, that's a good idea, but I don't know how to start or where to start. So I know you've helped a lot of people start. So when we come back from the break, we'll address that. So stay tuned, listen. My guest tonight on This Week in Interview is Adrian Banis. We're doing a series on agriculture, regenerative agriculture, and food production. And tonight's program is themed Make Agriculture Great Again. So stay tuned. Let's get a word from the sponsors and we'll be right back.
Presented by
Running a radio station shouldn't be chaos. It should be simple, smart, and professional.
With Joan Premium, your entire week schedule is beautifully organized and easy to. Running a radio station shouldn't be chaos. It should be simple, smart, and professional. With Joan Premium, your entire week schedule is beautifully organized and easy to manage. Real-time accuracy keeps your listeners in sync with every show. Your visitors and audience sees the right schedule every time, wherever they are. They can even choose different time zones. From analytics to social media and native app integration, Joan Premium is the professional tool your station deserves. You're never alone. We provide priority support for active license users. We're building a community. Connect with broadcasters worldwide through our Joan Community Hubs. Choose your plan, annual flexibility, or lifetime freedom. Get Joan Premium today. www.gndenterprisesinc.com or call 877-698-9894 for more information.
People say I've got a great smile. Well, I have to say, this is all thanks to the professional team at Beacon Dental Group right here in Dorchester, Massachusetts. I've got world-class dental care. Beacon Dental Group has expert and caring staff dedicated to providing the most advanced and satisfactory treatment in all aspects of oral health. Their services are designed to meet your needs and give you a perfect smile, too. General checkups, cosmetic surgery, Gemini laser service, and advanced procedures, all in a state-of-the-art facility. Call or visit Beacon Dental Group today, 1026 Blue Hill Avenue, Dorchester, Massachusetts, or call 617-282-2146 for a smile that lights the world.
Looking to promote your business, engage current customers, and reach new people? Well, look no further. From the basic presentation to a fully fledged advertisement, use your video ads to attract customers. At Man's Audiovisual Productions, we do just that. We produce videos for business and event promotions, product demo videos, animated explainer videos, fundraiser ads, and much, much more. Engage your clients and sell online. We customize the video to match your brand design. Guaranteed to play flawless on all devices, including smart TVs. Contact us at telephone number 203-690-4342 or 767-245-6238. Visit our website, mansaudiovisual.com, or email us at derekvideo@gmail.com.
All right, so welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Thank you to our sponsors, Man's Audio Visual, Beacon Dental Health, Joan. Hello, check them out and support them. Show your gratitude for them keeping this weekend interview alive. So our topic tonight on this weekend interview is make agriculture great again, particularly in Dominica. We want to make agriculture great again. Get Get agriculture so great that young people will rush to become farmers. And we're saying that one of the ways that we can go move in that direction, excuse me, is through agro tourism, where we organize our farm and we do our farm practices in such a way that it can become an interesting story that will not that folks will now be willing to, for a small fee, come and learn and just see your farm, because you go to different destinations and there are different things that you see. You go to France, you see the Eiffel Tower. You go to London, you see Big Ben and whatever, and Buckingham Palace. When you come to Dominica, we are people of the soil, so you should get immersed in that aspect of our lives, our food production, and production from the ground, but also our cuisine, how we prepare our food so that it is tasty and it will support our nutritional needs at the same time. So, Adrian, if someone is listening to us now and they say, "Well, I have a farm, I don't know. I would like to be able to be part of this agro-tourism uh, thing that these guys are talking about. How I know they can call you, so you can talk about that too. But just talk to that person, let them understand that it's not a difficult thing. It's something that requires deliberate thought and planning, but it's not difficult, right?
Yeah. Well, that's why we are now looking to move into another phase of the farm to set up a training center. And that training center will equip it that you can come, you have, and you can have we can give you a short course if you want. If you also need, you can spend, we can do a training with you and help you to establish your farm. There are many ways that we can help you. We can first of all give you the information how to on farm establishment. That is one. Proper lining. Also, how to apply inputs. What kind of inputs to apply? How to maintain your farm. We'll be able to share all that with you. And as we teach you how to maintain your farm, how to maintain your crops, what kind of crops also that you need to plant in order to that you don't waste your time. We want to also see how we can minimize waste upon the farm, because
Right.
you can plant some stuff and they are unnecessary and you are just feeding them, and in the end you are not making any you are not making nothing out of them. That's why I remember I had a program one time talking agriculture, and Freedom Baptist at that program, and I was the first person to go on that program, and I was talking about the NEP, and I was saying, to me, planting flowers on the roadside doesn't make any sense because flowers doesn't bring any income. The kind of flower they are planting, the kind of flowers that they are planting on the
Right.
roadside, and cutting the grass. Well, I see it's best to give somebody a contract to cut the grass. Then you have people, 7, 8, 20 of them in one cluster, and they cutting grass and they cleaning. And you paying them from 8 to 12, you're giving them $600. I said the best thing you should do is, and the other thing is that you took these people out of their farm. Everybody abandoned their farms, and they are now in the NEP because of it. First of all, what is the attraction there? The time they work in 8 to 12, that is the big attraction there. And they don't care whether they get $600. They don't worry. They know when 12 o'clock. They go and they know they can sit down. They can sit down while some working, some sit down, and in the end, they leave and they go. So I said, well, if I had to run the Ministry of Agriculture or to do a program in Dominica like that, I would empower the farmers, the young farmers, on their farm, plant, and bring them to a certain level. When they start to harvest, I will say, okay, you start harvesting now, go on your own. I go to another step.
Right.
So you continue to rotate it, and then you see how you can bring them to a place where they can go into added value. Boy, the man take me to task for that. Them cut me off.
Oh, really?
But cut me
What
off,
was
boy.
why?
Because I did that statement. They were talking, well, I attacking their program. But I was attacking the program. I was just making them smarter. Anyway, so with that, that is a way you can become self-employed, and you can become, and you can not just, it's not just about planting, but you can become a manager, you can become a scientist. There's so much advantage in just farming in that particular way. There are lots of things that you can, there are lots of things that I've been learning and I'm continuing to learn as I farm, as I grow, as I study the plants and how they grow. And then I move into pruning. And when I started pruning, I realized, oh, that's why in Dominica, we were like that, our tree crops, because of during the banana days, our tree crop would stand well because they always used to get fertilizer and they used to spray and things. But after the banana collapse, all the tree crops collapsed because the people now they didn't know what to do.
Hmm.
The farmers.
Right.
So they never prune, they never treat their trees. So all their tree crop die and they get disease. So right now I realize when you are growing tree crops, it's very important to prune your tree crops. Take care of your tree crops. Ensure that your tree crops are well taken care of so they can produce. And not just that, they can remain healthy so they can give you, they can every year the crop's supposed to increase. That's what you want. The more you of fruits you have, because I love fruits. I mean, every day I think I eat a couple of oranges. It's just a joy. It's real,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's really a joy. I love fruits. So that in itself would be able to help the young farmer, the young person who have that piece of land and go in with and begin to plant with agrotourism in mind.
In mind, right?
We'll be able to understand that hey, it is not just about planting a few things and go, but you have a well-established farm that you can now attract persons, not just in the diaspora, in Europe, but even local Dominicans, the school
Yep.
school children, because the school children they come on the farm every year. The preschool come, the primary school come, the secondary come. Then we have a program every summer. We started, this year, next year it was our third year where we're doing a summer program for a week where they come and they learn, they do a project and then they learn about farming. So now what you're doing is spreading the knowledge.
Right.
You are not just planting, but you are also imparting knowledge that people can go back, young children can go back and say, boy, at least I'm doing agriculture. But I remember I visited a farm during my school year and now I'm out of school. Let me try or let me start something,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm.
And this is the kind of thing that we have to begin to prepare the young generation to make sure that they do not remain idle, but they can do something and do it with a sense of purpose, and they can do it to gainfully employ, and they don't have to go out there and in the air condition and all the different thing and trying to see how they can everybody trying to see every morning I wake up, I dress, perfume myself, and then I go into the office.
Which is your farm. And that's how we want people to start thinking about it, that your
Yes.
farm is a business. So when you get up in the morning and go on your farm, you go into your business.
My God, it's so exciting that I leave 7 o'clock and I can come back 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just nice. I enjoy it, man. As if now I even getting more joy for the farm. Just go in there and just stay there and just work. Even though I can't do a lot of hard work like before, but there are things that I can do.
Hmm.
You know.
So you employ people on the farm.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I employ people.
Okay. So that's the whole point. The purpose of this program is to talk about agriculture in 2025, 2026. Not talk about agriculture in 1980 or
Right.
1985 when we had one cash crop that was bringing in millions of dollars to Dominica on a monthly basis. That has changed. And I don't think it's going to be replaced by a similar scenario where we
No.
have uh, you know assume we have one cash crop, like you have
Right.
bananas or you had coconuts before that or limes before that. I think the approach that you are taking, Adrian, is the correct approach, where you don't, in a sense, lump all your eggs in one basket and then you get a storm and you have to start from scratch. the
Right.
diversity of your farm, the planning out of your farm, the treating the farm as a business. And if it's a business, you you want to make sure that you have business going on all year round. You're not just planting one set of crop when they're in
Right.
season and that sort of thing. So before we close, let us talk about what is it that you can offer in terms of consulting and how people can contact you. Somebody that says, okay, I have 10 acres of land in Glogomir. I would like to farm it. I don't know where to start. I live in America, but I would like to have the land being productive in Dominica. Talk about that kind of service. I'm not saying that you offer the service to farm for them, but we can talk about how you help people to be able to think about and to plan the farm, how to farm their land.
Well, yeah, first of all, you can give me a call. My number is 767-245-1460. Then I would like to, then we take a trip to the area
Hmm.
to see how the area is, because you need to know how the area is and where the area is. Because remember, one of the things that I'm also that we are not doing in Dominica, which we should be doing, we should be mapping out the where it's good for certain crops.
Certain
There were
crops,
certain
right?
crops can grow,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
because every village or every jurisdiction grow certain crops best. So you
Right.
look for what grows there best, the best. And I remember for years, these guys have had people saying they're doing consultants, see how they go into, how you calling it? I forgot the
Land
name.
allocation or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, yeah, to make sure that they know well. All right, for instance, castle roses, the northeast there. You
Hmm.
can plant number of crops. But if you go on the west coast, there are some crops that will not do well there.
Right.
And there are also some crops that will not do well on our side.
Right.
Okay. So it is always good to map your country to make sure that you haven't got people planting everything everywhere. But
Hmm.
well, if I want oranges, and especially, or say I want Washington Navel, in the heights of Syndicate would be the best place to go,
Right. Okay.
because the altitude is high.
Hmm.
And when you plant Washington Navel, that type of orange, the orange
Hmm.
of the navel,
Hmm.
in the high altitude, man, it will produce. I remember when I was a young boy, very young, I went to a farm in that time, used to walk miles. I went to a
Hmm.
farm in McCluckin.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember a man called Mr. New in
Yeah.
Toronto.
In Toronto,
Right. So the other,
definitely. Yeah.
right. So they,
Matthew and those guys.
right. So they used to call, how they used to call them, boy. Like, I didn't, yeah, but I tell you, it taking you a day, almost a day to reach in that
To
farm,
reach
because
the
you leave
farm,
at
right?
5 o'clock in the morning.
Uh-huh.
You have to cross a number of rivers,
Roman
and that
stone, you
would
pass
take
Roman
you at
stone and you
least,
go.
when you reach, is just to put food on fire. 12 o'clock. So I took a trip with them once, and then they had that same Washington Navel.
Hmm.
Man, nice, big, and the orange sweet. You see the distance, and the orange was doing very well.
Right,
But
because
on the
it's
lower
up in the
altitude,
heights. Yeah.
right? But on the lower altitude, you will find plants like Valencia and Organic will do much better, especially where I am.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So again, you have to understand the dynamics of of the demography of your place.
Hmm.
What
Hmm.
is going to do well and what is not going to do well. I have some Washington Navel, but they dry in fast because the altitude is low, so it doesn't retain the water for a
Right.
long time.
Okay.
Retain the juice for a long time. But the Valencia retain the juice all the time because it is it is for a low altitude variety. So all these things that you you have to learn. So again, I'm coming back to what you ask, so that you can call me and then I go and see how the land is. If it's slope or gentle slope, if it's flat, so we can design and make sure that we put a design together to make sure that when we start planting or putting the farm together, we do it in a way, well, in an attractive way. It's not just planting but you have to do it in an attractive way. So this is some of the things that this is how we can start, and then I'll show you how to establish the land, what to plant. I believe in lining, because when you line, you have uniform, everything is done in order.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to walk through the farm the way that in an orderly way.
Yeah,
And
that's
now,
important if you're going to have visitors coming in
right,
and going through your farm.
even now I'm beginning to recognize, if I'm going to plant a new place right now, I'm going to do my trail one time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't going to wait when the trees grow to do the trail. So as I grow it, I'm going to decide, map out where I'm going to put my trail. And then I plant with my trail in mind. So
Mm-hmm.
right away, I start to build my trail. So by the time the trees come, my trail already, I don't
Yeah,
have to go back
you have
in
exactly,
another
exactly.
trail, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
So that is what it is. It's not, you make it, you break it down and you make it simple. That
yeah,
the idea is that gone are the days where if there's a piece of land, you just dig a hole, you put some plantains, you put some
guys.
bananas in it. You have an area, maybe you dig it, you put some yams. Right now, if you are going to be a farmer that's hoping to produce food for that would feed your family and your neighbors, and even have enough to sell to a huckster or to sell to some other person that comes to get, you have to plan it properly. And what we're saying is there is this is, I want to say novel, but it's not a novel idea. But there's this new awareness that if we organize our agriculture in such a way that it is well planned out and deliberate, it generates something of a story that
Right,
can now be properly told. Visitors come, and it can be an income generator for your farm. And on top of that, as Adrian said, we would be transmitting the knowledge to the people that come, because when they come, we now just walking silent as we go. What is that plant? Oh, that's passion fruit. That's a breadfruit. What's a breadfruit? Breadfruit is and this one is
yeah,
a bread nut. So a bread nut is different from a breadfruit. And as we have developed those our capacity to answer those questions, we have to go into nutritional analysis of our plant,
right.
of our food. What is nutritional profile of breadfruit? You spoke about bread nut, and you started saying, when I was doing the bread nut, I tell myself, or I ask myself, and I finish the sentence in my head, and I say, Tony in New York, he would love a handful of bread nut.
Yeah, I thought of you.
You understand? And but somebody who has never had it would say, well, what is that? It
Right,
looks like, in America they
yeah,
have something called a chestnut, and the bread nut looks like like a chestnut. The
yeah,
the chestnut has a tougher shell. The shell is almost leathery. The bread nut is just a skin. Just you break it, you cook it, you break it, and so on. But they're very similar, and so folks can connect, and we can have those stories, and we can benefit from that, because i- if we just try to do agriculture the traditional way, we will get bored, and will not be able to attract our children to go into agriculture. We'll not be able to make enough money to sustain ourselves. We'll end up doing agriculture part time, because we're forced to go get some other job somewhere that's going
yeah.
to generate income.
And
So go
you know
ahead.
something, you know something, Tony, that also brings back a lot of memories, of
Yes.
when we used to grow up with our parents. That's the beauty about that type of farming. When you see you have all these things like the bread nut, you have the fig foss, you have the fig sikiye, you have
Hmm.
picotion.
Percussion. Yeah, yeah.
You have all these different things. See how I come back. As I was talking to you, I just remember going about the Washington Naval.
Hmm.
eh? And right away, I recognize that, hey, see how fight was in the mountain.
Hmm.
And then it was doing so well. And it would keep it water, it would keep the juice in it till, well, the season end.
Right.
So right away, it brings back a lot of memory. And it's that flashing back things that we used to do before. Just sitting down and clean the bread that I remember I used to go up to a place we used to call Mango. And we
Hmm.
used to sit down in the ravine and we had a couple of bread nut trees and boy, they used to be here. When you
Hmm.
go on top of something, you go down with a bag of bread nuts on your head.
Right.
And I used to remember sitting down and cleaning that and that cleaning that I was saying, boy, you think your children do they're gonna do that?
And it brings back the thing about agroforestry,
Yes,
because some of
right.
those trees are the type of trees we should be planting in our forest.
Yeah,
So while
yeah,
you're hiking, you come across a bread nut, you come across a
right.
soursop, you come across. It's not just trees for the sake of trees. Yeah,
No,
we have the native species, our gomye and our warbler and those things, but yeah, but we also would like it would be such a pleasure. I'm a hiker. It'd be such a pleasure. I'm hiking, and I
yeah,
come across an orange tree that I'm free to pick
yeah,
an
right.
orange from and to eat.
Because also I thinking of what I can process bread nut into. I thinking of I have a number of things thinking of
Hmm.
how I'm going to turn the bread nut into something, into a snack. So I'm going to test out my experiment just now and see. I think I will try. The first thing I want to try is to dry it up and
Make a powder
it's
out of
not
it. Oh,
dehydrate it. But I suspect I'll have to cook it
right,
and then you dehydrate it.
right, and then you can grind it up.
When you can grind it up, also you can leave it so.
Okay.
And because
What popped in my head was baby formula. You know.
yeah, that's another thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can grind
Mhm.
it
Mm. So, folks, you have suggestions? If you have suggestions, drop it in
up.
the chat or send us a
Yes.
comment. What ideas do you have in how Adrian can process bread nuts on his farm
Or you can
to create a
WhatsApp me
product?
at
You
two
can
four
WhatsApp
five 1460.
767-245-1460.
Yeah, you can WhatsApp me.
Okay,
And I'd love for you all to WhatsApp me. Let's have a conversation. It would be good.
right,
Even though you don't call me, but you can send me a voice note or you can send me a WhatsApp message and we can have a conversation. It's always good to have to talk. Some people say, well, you like to talk. I realize people saying you like to talk, but talking and talking sense,
yeah,
you can learn a lot of things. You can pull things from people and you can get ideas. People can, you can interact and who knows what can happen in the end.
right, yeah. So we pretty much at the end of our conversation, and so let's circle back and see what ground did we cover. You know, and we started saying that we'd like to make agriculture great again. We talk about if you think about agrotourism, it's basically saying that when you plan your farm in such a way that you have something that you can invite somebody on your farm to look at, and then once that person comes on, they would leave with an experience, a memory, a memorable experience of what's in your farm. So what makes your farm stand out? What do you have in your farm that you can build a story around? And we spoke about the different fruit trees. We talk about being able to demonstrate how you take care of your farm, your pesticides, if you and natural pesticide, natural weedicide, instead of killing the weeds or taking them out bare, use a brush cutter, as Adrian said, and that way you always have a ground cover, especially in a place like Dominica where there's a lot of rainfall. And so we have to consider that tourism, sort of like the agriculture version of an Airbnb. You have a home, you have an extra room, you put it online, somebody come, they stay with you, they pay you for being there. Similarly, you have your farm, you're proud of your farm, you invite people to come to the farm, you earn some extra additional income. So I'm going to give you some minutes to close up the discussion on agrotourism as as a means of modernizing our agriculture and making agriculture attractive, making agriculture great again.
You like that making agriculture great again, man. I love that.
Yeah, make agriculture great again. Yeah,
And not just great in the sense of you have money, you have food, you have something, but just the joy of sitting down. The Bible, and the Bible says the laborer enjoys the fruit of his labor.
yes,
He's the
definitely,
first,
literally. Yeah.
yes. Just enjoy the fruit of your labor. And the other thing is that I can tell you, I said one time that there's going to become a time where I'm going to buy anything in the store, and I really pushing for that. I have everything that I want to eat on my farm. I don't have to go into store and buy. So I have, because there are some things in the store I don't need to buy. I don't need sausage. I don't need um
Right. Hmm.
all these kind of things that I see people buying and have in their house. You don't need to put that in your body. First of all, the type of processed food that they give us, it is just doesn't carry any nutrients to our body. So we have to now come up with naturally processed food that people can eat, healthy processed food. This is the way we have to go right now. So we can have a coconut oil, virgin coconut oil. You have a red nut snack, and probably everything you do it naturally. Your natural seasoning. So you can reach a place where, as a farmer who have a vision, you don't need to go into the store and buy anything to eat because I don't need a lot of things to eat. So I can save that money and invest it in something else.
Yeah.
I have my sugar cane. I make my juice.
Right. And so, uh, Amma Thomas says, if you if you want to attract tourists to your farm, you have to make your farm beautiful. And beautiful can it's just that you have to have a story. To me, in my mind, beautiful is that you have to have aspects of your farm that you can string together a story, and then you can have activities on your farm that educate and and give knowledge, and have your farm in such a way that it is comfortable enough for people to walk through your farm, even if it is not the most dry day of the week. So you may have some rain, you have some wet areas. They know they're on a farm,
Yeah.
so they expect if their shoe gets dirty or a little mud, that's fine, because nobody wants to see asphalt trails going through or
I
concrete,
know.
So they expect to to get, but it shouldn't be excessive, right? um, and so on. You should not have, if you do your farming properly, you'll have no mosquitoes on your farm, no none of those kind of overbearing insects on your farm. So again, it comes back to what Adrian said. You plan your farm with that in mind, and if you do that, you will find that you have a wonderful farm that's well organized, that's very productive, and that when people come on the farm, they enjoy it so much they talk about it. And we say tourism, and we don't necessarily mean tourists that come on a boat or a plane. Yeah, somebody coming from, I don't know, vehicles to your farm in Castles because they understand that you have a special way you're doing your passion fruit. So
Yeah.
they bring 10 a group from the school or whatever it is they come. That's visitors, that's tourism. They're touring your farm. They're literally tourists. So
But let me
mhm,
but let me tell you, the person is saying that, but I've gone to farms that I have seen. Sometimes I wonder, hey, these families are the most rugged, or it is not organized, but
Right,
because of what they are offering, the people come.
right.
And let me tell you, sometimes people thinking the tourists looking for specialty. No, tourists just want to come, and sometimes what you think is so it will not attract you in Dominica when they come. It is it is awesome for them, it is delicious for them, it is
Hmm.
special for them because they have never seen that.
I've never seen
So
it.
our mindset about tourism must is not something where the tourists looking for upper skill thing. That's why right now they do not want to go to hotels and sandy beach anymore because they fed up with that. Because it's the same thing they go in and see all the time. They want to
Right.
now get a new attraction. So they don't care whether the terrain is bad or whether it is you now that have to make it a way where when they come they can have an experience. What they want is an experience. Maybe they can come. Remember when you used to go to school before and you pass in a road and you slide and you fall on your bottom and you say
Hmm.
you got that judo? They come and get that
Right.
judo thing and that would be fun for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once they don't
The
break their waist.
Yeah, the immersiveness, the experience has to be where they feel immersed in the farm. In an experience, so they become a farmer for a day. They produce food for a day. Amma is clarifying that by beautification, she doesn't mean that kind of nomad and whatever. She was agreeing with you that while you are planting, you are thinking about your trails.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so they're properly laid out and
Yeah.
and so on. Yeah.
So you don't have to go back and do the trail again. Once I have land and I'm going to do it again, I put
Hmm.
in my trail one time.
Yeah, you put your so that you can take them through every aspect
Right.
of a farm. All right, so we're out of time, but I think we covered it. I think we handled the topic that an aspect of agriculture, an aspect of food production is agrotourism, where while you're doing what you're doing to produce your products and to process them into added value, your jams and your chips and your flour and all of those things, while you're doing that, if you do it in such a way, you can have people come on an experience being on a farm, an immersive experience of being on a farm. And we call that agrotourism. And we think that Dominica is well positioned
Yeah.
for agrotourism. We have some of those farms that the view is $1 million view because we're
Yeah.
sloping, overlooking the ocean, or we're looking
Right.
up at the mountains or whatever it is. You're growing food, you're producing food in that environment because you are there every day. You take it for granted, but someone comes on your farm and they walk to the edge of your farm, Adrian, and they see this wonderful river
Yeah.
flowing by
Right.
on your land. It's clear, um, clean, crystal clear water, and with fishes swimming in the water. They sit on a stone, or if there's some kind of thing that's built there, and they experience that, and they eat a fruit sitting next to a river in their mind in the wilderness of
Yeah.
a tropical island. That's an experience that they will never forget. And that's what we're saying, that in addition to meeting our need to be more self-sufficient in producing our food and in doing our processing on the farm to add value, those things in themselves has the potential to earn some extra money for your farm by inviting people to come on and experience your farm, but also to pass on the knowledge
Right.
and to show these young people that farming in itself can be a sexy occupation. Make agriculture great again. That is the better version of MAGA than the nonsense they're doing in the US. Make agriculture great again. All right, so let's close it off. We will do this again, Adrian, on the
Yeah.
third. Well, I don't know if it's going to clash with Christmas.
I
Um,
don't. I doubt it
I
possible.
doubt, right? But the third Wednesday in December, we'll
Yeah,
be back here for another episode of regenerative agriculture and food production.
we'll deal with food processing that time.
We'll deal with agro processing
Yeah, agro
next
processing.
next time. Okay, so our December topic is agro processing. So thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you making the time to educate us. And folks, if you have not gone to Barney's Farms in Gasabros, it's well worth your trip. Contact him. Tell him your number again, Billy.
245-767-245-1460.
60. Send him a text, send him a WhatsApp, and organize to go on the farm. If you
Yeah,
are a farmer and you want to improve or make your farm run a little more efficient or diversify a little more, contact him. If you have land and you would like to do farming, contact him. He'll be able to point you in a good direction. And if you already have a farm that is already efficient and working well, contact him because as his agro-tourism business thrives, he will want partners that he can take
yeah,
his guests
yeah.
to another farm
Right,
to
right.
do a tour like that. So there's room for collaboration there as
And
well.
and also remember, it's not just planting trees and things. So what about herbal garden? You can have a
Yeah,
agrotourism. You can have a farm with herbs,
yeah,
and then people come. Then you educate them about the herbs. You give them herb tea and thing, and all kind of different things that
yeah,
different aspect of plants that you can grow. Flower. You can have one if only flower. You can have one if only. It's you that have to decide what niche you want to go
right.
into.
Going to, yeah, you could be growing chickens and
Yeah,
doing it in
right.
such a way, yeah. And then you have farm, you have natural eggs. So really, thank you so much for this, and we'll do this again next in December, third
Yeah,
Wednesday in December for another episode of Make Agriculture Great. I'm gonna keep that tagline, make agriculture great again.
yes, man. That's a good one.
All right, so have a good night. Enjoy the weekend.
How are you too?
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody else enjoy your weekend.
All right, thank you. And folks,
Yeah.
tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day in the US, and so enjoy your Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate, who mark that day at Thanksgiving Day. Uh, Happy Thanksgiving to you. I hope you have a lot to give thanks for. And if there are some things that you're not thank that it's a little challenging, give thanks anyway, because it's going to make you stronger. It can make you much stronger. So give thanks for everything that is going on in your life because it's good or it's getting better. That perspective is what we need. So, folks, tonight we talk about agro-tourism, bringing folks to your farm. I know Amma Thomas was very active on the Marian John Finn. Roslyn says she's listening from New York. Roslyn McLean. Um, she is the author of Oceans of Dreams, Ocean of Thought. Oceans of Thought. I know you're going to correct me if I said it wrong. But I appreciate you guys joining us, and thank you so much for all the comments and the participation. Remember, if you have an idea of what we can probably test and do with bread nut as a processing fruit processing product, uh, is it flour? Is it baby formula? Can we get it in some form of a snack? Can we um, in a small operation, we may not be able to can, but we probably can do mason jars. So maybe we could how do you say it? Parboil it and put it in a jar. I don't know. All kind of ideas. If you have ideas, text Adrian 767-245-1460. And so we'll do this again next week, Wednesday, for another installment of This Week in Interview. In the meantime, love yourself and watch what you eat. Eat healthy. All right. Good night, folks, and thank you to the team for this wonderful program. Thank you, Adrian, for agreeing to come on once a month so we could do this farmer agriculture, make agriculture great again, especially in Dominica and in the Caribbean. Good night, folks.